Hi everybody, this is Linda Faulkner. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. My website is www.crafterinspired.com, and this is a customer exclusive tutorial on how to make this particular birthday card. It is one of 4 cards in a set that comes in the Happy Birthday box. This is designed to be used as a gift or just a way for you to store your own cards. And customers only are receiving the last 2 cards in the series plus how to make the box. So this is the first of those last 3 videos. Today we are making, I'm going to call it my embellishment card because it's using 3 different embellishments on top of 3 different pattern papers to give you this particular design. You can use any paper you choose. I use the Birthday Bouquet Designer Series paper from Stampin' Up! And that particular paper has these gorgeous colors with this great big flower on one of the designs that I think you'll really enjoy. So let's get started. To begin, you're going to need a white cardstock base. This is 4 1/4 inches by 5 1/2 inches. On top of that, I use 3 different papers from the Birthday Bouquet Designer Series. Now, one of the nice things about the Stampin' Up! Paper is that if you're using a Designer Series pack, all the papers in it are going to coordinate, so you don't have to worry. I chose 3 different designs, kind of 3 different styles and sizes, but in the same color family. The first piece is 1 1/2 by 5 1/4 inches. The second piece I cut a rectangle 2 1/2 inches by 3 3/4 inches. And then the third piece I cut a rectangle 2 1/2 inches by 1 1/2 inches. When you put them together, it's going to look like that. They meet in the center and you'll have an 1/8 of an inch border all around the outside. So you're simply going to adhere those using tape runner all the way down the back and then pressing them together very carefully on your sheet. And you've got your card base. I've got one of those already made to show you. Save a little bit of time. So here it is. I use the different papers are just a little bit different on this one. So the next step is to add the ribbon. If you remember on our original, this little ribbon is pleated. And let me show you how to do that. It's very simple. I'm using about 10 inches of the, I think it's a soft blue seam binding. And I'm going to run a strip of tape runner all the way across my card, all the way off the edge, edge to edge. Then I'm going to start my ribbon, and this started out as straight ribbon. I've done it once. And I'll overlap it a little bit on the edge. And then I'm going to make a little kind of a loop, pull it back, so part of it is not going to stick to that tape. And then press it down. So you see how you get the little loop of ribbon there? Do that about about 3/4 of an inch. It's up to you, however much pleating you want. And I'm going to do that all the way across the card. And it's not going to be perfect. This is handmade. That's what makes it special. And then when you get to the end, you're going to have it overlap. And it's going to look something like that. Notice a lot of it's going to be covered up with your embellishments. So in this particular case, it doesn't really have to be that exact. I'm going to snip the ends to make a straight cut. And there we have our ribbon. Next step is starting on our embellishments. The first embellishment is this large flower. And I'm using this particular paper. This is one of the choices that you have in that Birthday Bouquet paper. That paper is also retiring. So either substitute something else or get it quick before it goes by May 31st. Then I just cut out one of those flowers, just a rough cut, looks like this. And then I'm going to do what I call a fussy cut. Get these others out of your way so you can watch what I'm doing. I'm using some paper snips, which are some very small scissors. And I'm just going to go around the outside edge. Now, I left about 1/16 of an inch of white all the way around. You see, I'm not going in and cutting all of those tiny little spots. You could, but I think you get the same look you want a lot faster by doing it this way. Now notice I accidentally cut that leaf off. No problem. I'm just going to go in and they won't even know it was there. So continue to do your fussy cut all the way around until you end up with a flower that looks something like that. And then the next step is I'm added some, it's called Wink of Stella, and it's this little brush, looks like this, and it adds a clear little glitter, very, very slight shimmer all the way around. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the camera. Squeeze a little bit if you need more, but I don't know if the lights are picking that up or not, but it makes a really pretty little shimmer on it when the light picks it up. So this is the first embellishment, and it's all done. The second embellishment is going to be this little tag here, and this was actually something that was purchased in a store, not in these colors, but it was commercially done, and I thought, well, I can make that, and then it can match anything that I want to use it for. So we're going to make that little tag ribbon holder, and it will look like this when we're finished. We're simply starting out with a piece of designer series paper, 1 3/4 by 2 inches, and then I used the scoring tab on my paper cutter, and I scored all the way down the center, just 1 inch, split that 2 inches in half, and then folded it in half. Once you do that, it's going to look like this. Then I took 3.5 inches of ribbon. This is about 5/8 inch wide. You can use whatever ribbon you want. I'm folding it in a diagonal so both ends meet. Going to put it right here, and all you do is put a staple right there, and that holds it. Can you see how that works? Very simple. And then you want to trim your edges however you like those. To embellish it, I did this little butterfly, and that's a butterfly punch, and I used a pink, here's the original butterfly. You want to bend his wings to give him a little bit of dimension. And this is out of the pink glimmer paper. One of the things about glimmer paper is it's a little bit hard to adhere things to. So I used a glue dot to put on his belly to put him onto my embellishment, and then I used a little bit of Fabri-Tac where I added the pearls. So you're going to add 4 pearls right down the center, and I have one coming off to make it look like his head. So that's my little ribbon embellishment. And then the third embellishment is this tag right here. And notice the top of it's tucked up underneath the other embellishment so you don't even see it. So we're not going to spend a lot of time on that part. I'm going to start with a 2 by 3 inch rectangle of Whisper White cardstock. I'm going to punch both of the ends. This is my trio punch. It is also retiring, and it has 3 different design choices. I'm going to use the 3 different, looks like little flower leaves. When you punch that, you go straight down. If you try to push one side in, which you'd think would work, it does not work. And you have a beautiful little corner like that. So do that on both corners. There you go. And then you're going to add a little pearl to it, and you have the beginnings of your tag. The last step on the tag is to stamp. And I'm using a sentiment. It says, "They say it's your birthday." I think this is from the Sweet Sayings stamp set, and I'm going to use Pool Party ink. Let me show you a little trick on this ink. Do you see those 3 dots? That's where you're going to press. When you press, it pops up, and then you simply turn it over and slide it closed. These are the devil to get open sometimes, and that's just a little trick that helped me out. So I'm going to stamp my image. Remember, just tap, 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 tap. And I want it to be as close to the bottom as I can get to give me plenty of room. There we go. We have our image stamped. The last thing I need to do is add a set of pearls, and these are coming straight from the Stampin' Up! Jewel's Basic Pearl. You can see some of them are connected. That's what I'm using. So I'll pull that strip off, lay it down, and if I have any extra pearls, I can trim the extra. And that just gives it a little bit of bling. Gotta have bling. Okay, so I'll just trim that extra pearl off, and I'm good to go. Now let's put our card together. Back to our card base. Let's lay it out. I've got my flower. I've got my ribbon holder. And I have my tag. The tag is going to go on the bottom. So once I'm pleased with the layout, I think I'm good there. I'm going to attach the tag with tape runner. Oops, my pearl came off. I'll add a little glue to make sure that one will stick. And it's sticking to me. That's the way it goes. We'll add that glue to it in just a minute. Then I think I'll use a little bit of pop dot. One ought to do it. There's not going to be a lot of pressure on this, so one pop dot. And then a couple of pop dots to put my flower on. And once you do that, you've got a gorgeous card. Of course, you don't want a naked envelope, so let me show you a little trick to adding that framelit. If you notice on this card, I have just one of the coordinating papers is what I used. But I found another paper in that same grouping that I really liked. So let's use that. Let me show you how I do it. I use the Framelit. This is for the medium envelope. So I use the Framelit for the envelope, cut it out with my Big Shot. And the little trick I have found, if I will tuck this under my blade runner where that corner is right there in the blade cutting spot. There you go. And I'm going to use my score tool to go across it, do a couple of times, and then it makes it a real easy to fold that forward. You can use either side you want. I think I'm going to put this liner on the outside so you can see it. So all you need to do is tuck that into an envelope. I'm going to use the one I already have here to show you. And it can be very difficult to get it all in there when you have tape on the back of it. So what I simply do is I tuck it into the envelope, and then where that score line is, it's going to fit perfectly. So I simply pull, and I play like I don't have that there. I'm using an envelope that's already done. You're going to put your tape runner on the back of this and then lay your envelope down, and you don't have to fight that tape runner trying to get it in your envelope, and you'll have a beautiful liner. So here's the card we've made, and I kind of like it with that dark paper better. Let me show you a couple of other ideas for the same design. This is a teacher appreciation card. It's using the same design, but I think I just, instead of the ribbon, I used paper, and instead of 3 sections, I just used 2. And so here is my flower. I made a little chalkboard, made a little clipboard for my ribbon tag, and then adjusted the ribbon tag to make it in that different shape. And then here's another one, same design, just substituted different materials. You see there's ribbon. You see instead of 3 sections, there's 2 sections, but they're going the other direction. Here's my tag, a cute little ribbon holder. And instead of the flower, I just cut some little turtles and tree out of the paper, and then I embossed the little circle under there with it's got a little tree embossing, looks like tree trunks. I appreciate you joining me. I'm Linda Faulkner. You can get information from me. Just email me. All the information is there on my blog at www.crafterinspired.com. And Thanks again for being a customer.